You want a guy who is going to unfollow the girls when you get into a relationship. I think that's important because it's a respect thing. And I think a lot of guys are like, I don't even think twice about it. Like, because guys are bombarded with girls in bikinis and shit all day long. Where, yeah, I think there's probably a lot of truth to that. Like, they're kind of desensitized to it. And it's just like, they're just scrolling, whatever. But it's a respect thing. It's a respect thing for your girlfriend or your wife of like, and maybe that's my ego. It's not like, it is a respect thing. And I also think maybe my ego is a little bit involved where it's like, I don't want my boyfriend to follow a bunch of random girls to be like, oh, Kristin Cavallari's boyfriend follows me. Like, he watches my stories and stuff. Like, no, fuck you. Fuck you. I don't like that at all. And I don't just think that because people know who I am. Like any girl, I don't want any girl to be able to be like, oh yeah, her boyfriend looks at all my shit. I don't like that. It's a respect thing. So we should all go for the guys who are fucking man enough to unfollow these girls and make you feel secure in a relationship. Like, I'm sorry. That's how it should be. Otherwise, fuck these guys, man. They're plenty of fish in the sea. Fuck them. How many dates till you sleep with a guy? It just really depends. You know what else? Okay, I've been on this thing, I don't know, in the last like couple years, like 2 years maybe, of being like, you should make him wait like 3 or 4 dates, like blah, blah. I don't think it fucking matters. It doesn't. It doesn't fucking matter if you sleep with him the first date or the 10th date. If there is chemistry and feelings there, it doesn't matter. I saw this relationship coach post on TikTok saying 90% of couples who are in like the best relationships where they like found the one all slept together the first or second date, all of them. So, and actually if my history tracks out, a lot of my serious relationships were earlier on. So I don't think it matters. I don't think it fucking matters. I won't do the first date. That is like, that's kind of a hard line for me. I never have done the first date and I never probably will or would. But other than that, I've done the second date and it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. The best texters, the guys who there's a back and forth all day long pretty much. They are really good on text. They'll send you paragraphs. They really open up. You feel like you get to really know these guys on text, right? I have found that those are the most toxic men. And you can come for me about that, but that is my experience. And when I tell you I've had quite a bit of experience in the last few years, I really mean that. I have been so love bombed. And if you guys don't know what love bombing is, it is a real term and it has to do with narcissists. But it's where these guys come on really strong and they want to show you how amazing they are and how much they like you and how amazing they think you are. And like, it just gets like really serious really quickly. And I'm thinking of a few specific people, but that is a huge, huge red flag. I swear, you guys, the best texters, the best like texting relationships that I've had, there's like 3 that are really standing out in my mind, have been the most toxic relationships or situationship or whatever the hell it was of my entire life. And I think it worked on me in the past because I hadn't done the work on myself. Now that I've done the work, it's obviously a huge red flag to me. That stuff makes me want to run. I think the more work you do, like the more, I don't even want to say stable because I think you can be stable and not have done the work. But the more like the healthier, I guess, emotionally you become, the more you actually appreciate that someone has their own life, someone is busy doing their own stuff, and they don't need to constantly like have a pulse on me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like the age thing was a hang up for me at first. Now I don't give a fuck and I'm all in with this guy. I understand what it looks like to the outside world. I really do. I get that. He is not a typical 24-year-old in the same way that I don't think I was a typical 24-year-old. I don't think you were either. I really think age is just a number. It's what you've been through in your life, how you were raised. There are just so many factors that go into maturity other than age.
I believe that so much.
And when I met him, I was like, obviously I thought he was the hottest guy I've ever seen. That attraction was always there. But when I met him, I was like, he's actually a really nice, good guy. He's very sweet. From the jump, he was so sweet to me. Older guys, I'm sorry. And listen, like, we've got a lot of good guy friends and stuff, but like, they're boring, you guys. The older guys I've dated have been boring. They want to control me and compete with me. Everything is about ego and money. And like, I can't do that ever again.
Wait, one thing that I think that we should touch on, because we're talking so much about you and we have to think about sweet Montana, is also people aren't realizing, like, there is something about a younger guy who is really attracted to the independence and confidence and of a woman who might be older than him. Like, what is wrong with that? Some younger women really like older men because they like the maturity that comes with it, or they've gone through life experiences or whatever. Why can't younger men do that? Like, again, not to make it about me, but Scoot and I, like, that was our biggest thing. Like, Scoot loved just who I was because I was older. I didn't care that he was younger, and I never saw myself with somebody younger. My ex that I was with for 7 years was 15 years older than me. So I went the complete opposite way. So it's an energy match. But like, why can't younger guys like an older woman? That's so shitty to say.
I think hypnotherapy is the best form of therapy on the planet. At least it has been for me. The first time I did it was at the We Care Spa. I've since done it a lot. And that's, where I've really grown the most. And you guys, hypnotherapy is not, like, you're not hypnotized where your guide can get you to do anything. It's not like that. You're just really in this incredibly meditative state, which makes it easier to talk to your subconscious. And you have to work with a guide on this, obviously, someone who's really trained in this. But as an example, some of the stuff that you'll do is when you get to a really meditative state, they will guide you, and as an example, maybe into an empty room, a white empty room, and there's a window, and it's like all of these things, and the first thing that comes to your mind, and I'm really, it's not that simple, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to just kind of like not dumb it down, but I'm just trying to simplify it, and that is dealing directly with your subconscious. And that's when triggers can come up. And triggers, I mean, trauma or things that you've been ignoring that you just push down. Emotion, like you can really, I think we store all of our emotion in our body. I've done some of this hypnotherapy and I've gotten to a memory and I've just like started bawling, crying. And you feel so good afterwards. That's been the most, I can't say enough good stuff about it. It's been so powerful for me. You guys are going to hate me for saying this. I really feel like if a guy wanted to ask you out, he would. He would. So I don't want a guy to be like, oh, sure, I'll go out with you just because I approached him.
No, I kind of feel the same way.
Okay, thank you.
People aren't going to like that.
Be on my fucking page. No, people aren't going to like that. And I'm sorry, you guys, but I'm just being honest.
But yeah.
I'm just being honest. I didn't even plan that. What was I going to say? Oh, but okay, here's the thing. There's a girl in my office who I absolutely love. She's, I think, 24 or 25 years old. She is always making the first move. And
Good for her.
That's what I say. I'm like, you are a badass. We were just in New York together. There was a cute table of boys. She had one of the other girls who works for us give them a note being like, she's single, blah, blah, blah. He wrote her the sweetest texted her. And he was like, I'm in a relationship, but I think what you're doing is awesome. Like, keep it up. Plane ride home, same thing, gives a flight attendant a note, gives it to this guy. He came back and sat with her the entire flight home. They hung out afterwards, but then he ended up being a fucking psycho and was like obsessed with her. So it didn't work out. But I do think there are those times where good for you.
No, I hope my daughter's like that. I hope my daughter is not like me. No, I hope that she's like that. I hope she goes after whatever she wants.
No, I want my daughter to have all the men approaching her. Sailor, remember this, damn it. Let's talk about EMFs. And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of people still don't even know what they are or what that stands for. So what are they? Where are they coming from? And what's the damage that they're doing to us?
Well, now they're everywhere.
I know.
Electromagnetic, right? So cell towers, cell phones, computers, microphones, lights,
everything.
Electricity. Yeah, it's all around us. And that's another controversial topic,
It
right?
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some people, that's like, if you think that you probably like wear tinfoil hats to, it's funny. I was literally looking at hats last night that block EMF online.
I would buy those.
Yeah.
I would buy them.
And I was like, oh, this is like the modern day tinfoil hat. But it's a very real thing, and it can exacerbate a lot of people who have weakened immunity. I work with a lot of mold and mycotoxin patients, and they're very sensitive to EMFs. Like they can't even hold a cell phone in their hand.
You know what's crazy? If I'm on my phone more than usual, my whole arm kind of gets like a little tingly.
Me too.
It freaks me out.
Yeah. Like I can feel it. If you're a sensitive person, you can feel that effect. And I'll like put it down and be like, okay, need to take a break.
Out.
Yeah.
I have them. I've got 2 stickers on my computer.
Yeah.
I'll show you what I carry with me at all times too. It's easy to like get wrapped up in this stuff and then all of a sudden you're like living your whole life by it. But I have this Blue Shield like portable EMF blocker. And I've had to learn to let go a little bit because otherwise you're like, I find that like I'm just driving myself crazy, like becoming obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important. I've got EMF blockers all over my house. I got my kids the watches. Like I put them in their backpacks. I'm a huge believer that we should be doing everything that we can to combat this stuff.
Yeah.
Another place I learned that has really high EMFs is the Bluetooth headphones.
Oh, yeah.
Why are those so high and why is that so dangerous?
Well, it's just emitting a stronger frequency to do what it's trying to do. So I do all of my appointments online and I use these headphones and I have them hardwired so that decreases it. At home, you can hardwire your Wi-Fi or at least turn it off at night. Like you don't need it on when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And then there's like so much more you can do for your home. You can get these canopies that like drape over your bed and block all the
cool.
EMF. You can paint your walls with this EMF blocking paint.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've thought about it.
Yeah. So there's a lot you can do there. Some people are more sensitive than others. And if you're somebody who is sensitive, they're worth doing.
Okay. And it's damaging you at a cellular level.
Yeah.
Right. So even if you don't see it or like have symptoms, it still is probably affecting you.
Yeah. The thing is, in this day and age, it's not really one thing. It's the accumulation of hundreds or thousands of things. So if you talk to somebody who's a skeptic, they'll be like, what's the big deal about a little EMF? What's the big deal about a little chlorine, a little fluoride, a little this, a little that? It's not the one thing in small amounts. It's many, many, many things that add up. And you have to do everything you can in your power and control to mitigate what you can.
So how would you recommend a girl having the conversation of like, what are we? Or
number one, you never ask.
I was just going to say, let the guy, because if the guy's not saying,
don't
ask.
Don't ask. It's not a question.
So
you know what you want. Right?
So I want to be in a relationship with you.
Yeah.
Do you want to be with me?
Correct.
Of thing.
Yeah. I think we should date. I like you.
Think we should
Here's
date,
why.
Which is what your fiance did.
Yeah. I no longer want this. I want more. This is what I want out of a relationship. These are my expectations.
Okay, but then you have to be willing to walk away if you're not going to get it.
Yes.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. That's the key. You
no,
can't
I don't want to be in a relationship. Okay, fine.
Defining a relationship is setting a boundary with yourself and communicating to the person you're in a situationship with or someone you've been dating or having sex with. And you can't negotiate the boundary you're just trying to set.
Yes.
It was essentially what you're doing when you're like, oh, just kidding. We can keep hanging out.
Okay,
you know, like, and if you're in a situationship, you got to get out. Because they're going nowhere fast.
Exactly.
And the only way to get a guy to change his mind, or a woman, I think, honestly, it doesn't really matter the gender, is to be willing to walk away.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Make them miss you.
Yeah, because what people usually do is they try to prove, the people always say, like, we always do boyfriend and girlfriend things. You know?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
like,
mean
no,
you're
you're doing friend things. Every person has introduced their friend to their parents. Every person has taken trips with their friends.
Yeah.
You know, people, even some friends, like, have slept in the same bed together. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just because friends go to movies with each other, friends go to dinner with each other, you know, things like that. So just because you're doing that doesn't mean that, like, you're proving to them how great of a partner you are. And that's what people, it's like, I'll just show them. I'll show them how good we are together.
Right.
And that you're not showing them how good you are together. What you're showing them is all the things you're willing to do without getting what you want.
Exactly.
You know, you're just like, so why should they?
Right, exactly.
I'm getting the sex, I'm getting the company, I'm getting the time I need.
Yep.
You don't hold me accountable. You have no expectations of me. I can come and go as I please.
Yeah.
Why should I give that up?
No shit. God.
No one would give that up.
No, unless you walk away and then they miss you.
I always, in a situationship, there's two people. There's the hopeful person, the person hoping to make a relationship, and the person trying to make sure it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're the hopeful person, you got to stop hoping and just be willing to walk away.
Yeah.